back to Frankie's Forest. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 5 things to consider before you buy a greenhouse. So let's get right into it. So the first thing to consider is that you have to know the space you have. So once you set your greenhouse up, most greenhouses, it's not just like you set it up and when you want to take it apart, you take it apart. If you look at the structure and the frame of the greenhouse, look at, for example, things like the roof and the covering, it's all one piece. And all of these pieces, you're not going to end up taking them apart after you build it. So it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing. Once you have your greenhouse up, you're not going to be able to take it apart. So you should definitely be firm on your decision where you want to put your greenhouse. Second point is weather. Now this depends on where you live. If you live in areas where you get a lot of snow during the winters, or your summers and springs aren't that warm, they're kind of chilly. Also, on the contrary, if you live in an area where you don't have winters, like maybe Florida or California, where you don't have any snow or anything like that, you definitely have to consider having a greenhouse, because if you live in somewhere where there's a lot of snow, your greenhouse may have a shorter lifespan. If you live somewhere where there's a lot of heat, you'll have to monitor your greenhouse a lot more. So keep in mind the weather where you live. Time of year. So for example, I got my greenhouse right at the end of winter. This time we have time to decide where we want to put it, and also time to actually build the structure and put everything together. So the reason we did that is not only that, but also because we knew that we wouldn't put it up and then a lot of snow would fall on it. We did this because we knew that once we put it up, we would have 2 seasons of beautiful weather, and we wouldn't have to worry about snow or anything like that. We got it at this time also because we can monitor it, seeing if it does well in the spring when there's some gusts of wind, then we know it'll do well in the winter when there's snow and gusts of wind as well. Now the fourth reason is kind of plants. So the kind of plants you want to get for your greenhouse greatly depends on, for example, which greenhouse you want to get. This also relates back to the time of year and also where you live. So if you live in a climate where it's very hot, and you know that your greenhouse is going to get hotter than that, you should keep in mind not to grow a specific type of plant. If you want to grow strictly vegetables or strictly succulents or something like that, for example, vegetables, they wouldn't want 100, 110 degrees through the whole day in this greenhouse. They would want some fresh air, a nice breeze. They like cooler temperatures. Especially more common vegetables like tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and things like that. They like fresh air, they like 70 to 90 degree weather. They don't like extreme heat. So keep that in mind. Lastly, let's talk about time. So if you work a long shift through the day, let's say a 12-hour shift, then a greenhouse might not be your best friend, because your greenhouse does need a lot of attention. Also, your plants need a lot of attention that are in here. Having a greenhouse means a lot more watering because it's much more humid, and the temperature is much higher in here than it is outside. So water evaporates much quicker. So if you're out at work a lot and you don't have time to, let's say, open the windows for some fresh air or even close them for the chilly nights, then maybe you should reconsider getting a greenhouse and just stick with some houseplants. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to share it with any friends who you think will also enjoy it and find it helpful. Also, please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell. This way you get updated on all the new videos I post. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.